Hello and welcome to InteSoul Leadership, which is a segment of DestinySpeak Inc. And we have been featuring some of our InteSoul leader members of our exclusive community where we bring leaders who together who really value the importance of how leaders look and not just their physical appearance, but their demeanor, their countenance, how they show up in that space, and how they leave people feeling and how they sound. And how they sound and how they show up has everything to do with how they leave people feeling. I have the pleasure of interviewing Katrice Cornett, who is the CEO of HP Visual Connections, and she has dealt with many artists, um, whether it's artists or authors, and she's got record labels and all that good stuff. So if anyone knows about sound, it's Katrice Cornett. So let's join me and welcome her to this platform to share what she knows about leadership and her experience. Welcome, Katrice.
Hi, thanks for having me, Yvette. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. So glad you're here. And I just value your experience. I'm on this whole journey of really recognizing and acknowledging wisdom. And wisdom is not just by age, but it's about what we've experienced. And you have
Yeah,
tons of experience in and around sound, and not
yeah,
just sound musically from that perspective, but because you've dealt with music in various industries, you've dealt with leadership around creating a sound that leaders need or want in their organizations or even in their ministry. So I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's a sound to quality leadership. There's a way that
I,
they show up, there's a way that they um, really help move the vision forward as opposed to distracting the vision.
yeah. I
So, can
agree.
you just share more about what you do and speak to those kind of things for us?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I am that type of person that, like, when I'm in a room and there's leadership there, I'm looking for someone who sounds confident, but at the same time they're compassionate, and you can
Mm,
you can hear that in the way that they speak. Sometimes people are in leadership roles, and when they begin to speak, it's like you know that they are confident, but it's a cocky kind of confidence that comes across
mhm,
because they really don't get the compassion part, or they're not secure in what they are doing. Like they have just showed up. I got this workshop I got to do, or this training. Here I am, and I'm prepared for just that. If they ask me
mhm,
questions somewhere else or whatever, I'm not going to be ready. And so there's a sound that comes from people who actually have experienced what they're trying to teach you, have walked through it, understand how people can respond and positively and negatively, and they actually that
yeah.
passion that comes across when they
Mhm,
talk. So it's
mhm,
like it's more like they're loving what they do. So they want to share that with you in the most positive way that they possibly can, so that you can learn from it and grow as well, and you feel comfortable being in their presence. So
mhm,
when people come from a place of passion and compassion, it's different than, oh, I just got to do this training session, or this is my job. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Or I'm here to, get this point across or whatever. It's just always so much more that you can glean from those people when they are passionate and compassionate about what they're doing and who they're serving.
Yeah, and that is so good what you were saying, because it's also around um, the confidence is key, right? And I'm glad you mentioned that, because confidence you can hear,
You can hear it.
and you can see, and it, and it's confidence, a broader stroke of confidence, a depth of the confidence you can hear and see. And so, and that's not to say that, everybody has to start somewhere, right?
Yes.
But when you're honest about where you are, and you share that through what you're presenting or how you're leading your people, then they're willing to go the distance with you,
Yes.
as
Yes.
opposed to, uh, you know, they're showing up, this leader's showing up as if they know everything, but we know they just got
Right.
here. Or
Right.
they just started, and so it's like,
Exactly.
are they showing up to try to be more than what they are already, right? Because
Yes.
we already know. We already know.
Yep, we already,
And
because you can feel it. You can
right.
feel it in their presentation. You can feel the insecurity or the lack of confidence. Let me say, not insecure, but the lack of confidence in what they are charged to do at that moment. And it's just it's so cool when you're in a position within yourself to say, okay, I don't know, but let me research that and I'll get back to you. It's that is a place that you have to grow to, I think, as a leader, because especially on the corporate level. So
Mm-hmm.
like in like in the music industry, and even like in web design and graphic design, and things move so fast. There
Mm-hmm.
is no way you can possibly always be the one that knows the top thing or the most relevant thing or the thing that is out there now. There's no way you can always be that person. I mean, you would never sleep, because
Right.
that's how fast the music industry and internet, website, graphic designing, like now we're into this AI thing. You could use it for everything. And even though some people are doing that, for me, it kind of like takes away from the organic. I do use AI, but it takes away from the organic thought process
Mm-hmm.
of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have to think about this picture that this computer put out for me. I didn't have to think about this graphic design or my client or what they wanted. I just typed in what she said she wanted it to look like, and it looks like that. I didn't really create it. They could have done that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like it takes away that connectivity, I think, between you and your client. Like I get to
Mm-hmm.
know my clients when they say, I need a logo and this is what my business is about. And I really would like it to look like X, Y, and Z. I get to know them because that means I have to communicate with them and I have to tweak it. And I have to say, okay, well, maybe she would like it this way or that way. I literally have to consciously think about my client. And I think that's what's missing a lot in
Mm-hmm.
leadership today. I have a goal, I have a numerical goal, I have a goal that I want to reach, maybe even as far as training and technical things like that. I may even have a goal that I want to reach as far as how many people I want to have on my team. And that's just it for me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about what you think. I don't want to hear about how you think we can reach that goal or anything like that. This is the bottom line, and that's it. And I believe that that is what's missing, not just in leadership, in ministry, in a whole lot of areas where leaders need to be more conscientious about the people that they are serving. You are a servant to the
Mm-hmm.
people who choose to follow you. If
Yeah.
no one fills out your application for employment or your application for volunteering, for ministry, or whatever, you are not a leader. Who are you leading?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So that means you are a servant to these people who choose. They make a solid choice in their minds. I'm going to help that person with their business. I believe that's
Mm-hmm.
somewhere I need to be, whether it's for financial reason, ministry reason, spiritual reason. They like what you're doing, whatever the reason is, that's a choice they made. And you need to be grateful that they did that, or else you
Mm.
don't have anyone to lead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Grateful, right?
Yes.
So
Because
we need to talk about some of those characteristics that some leaders need. And this is not, I don't want anybody to walk away thinking this is leader bashing. We are all about building up leaders
yes,
and helping us as leaders remember what it really takes to have that quality leadership and
yes,
qualities that sound and be able to make the impact. We want everyone who has a vision to be able to fulfill it, as long as it's good for mankind and for our economy,
yes,
for our environment. If you're doing positive things, we want you to win. And so this whole InteSoul leadership community is about equipping you and
mhm,
reminding many about the good things that we practiced as leaders and have allowed us to be successful, so that we can make a greater impact, right? And
yes,
sometimes, as you're saying, sometimes we just had life happen and it got the best of us, and we laid aside or dropped off or forgot some of those good characteristics,
yes,
those strong, emotional, intelligent things that really make the difference in our leadership. And being grateful is one of them. Don't assume that anybody, and I think COVID taught us that, right?
oh yeah,
Because
absolutely,
people learned that, hey, life is too short and it is too volatile at times. And so I'm going to make choices that are best for me, which is great. We don't want anyone to feel trapped, right?
right,
We want people who want to be with us and work with us and help us build out visions and goals. However, um, we've got to set the culture and the environment so they want to. And being grateful and understanding, compassionate, as you said, is one of those things. So I'd like to talk about on the flip side, because I see this too sometimes. What about those leaders are who sometimes feel who when you look at, or you're a part of that organization, who are just too compassionate, too
oh
too
yeah,
too lenient with what's happening in the space, and you have people who are giving their all, right? But we're being lenient, we're being so passionate, we're being so compassionate to this other person, that it's really detrimental the way we're handling it. So
yeah,
compassion and helping to someone to get to their next are not necessarily equal, right? It
right,
takes a discipline. Sometimes we have to impose discipline, and we
yes,
have to have accountability
mm-hmm,
for people to get there. We can't just let people, oh well, help them continue to live in their life
and
of
there's
excuses,
right,
right?
right.
So
I
can you
really,
talk to that?
yeah, I really believe that. First, I believe that the people who find you and are assigned to you are there for a reason. So,
Hmm.
as a good leader, it's your job to figure out what that person's strengths are for your corporation, your organization, or whatever it is, and to utilize those. And when that is not happening, one of the things that is a pet peeve of mine is you're in a meeting and it's one person, and we all know who the one person is, but everybody in the whole room is getting reamed out for what that one person did.
Mm,
I don't think that that's a wise way to lead, because
right.
now everybody is sitting there second guessing, well, what's going on? Was it me, this and that, or whatever, when it really wasn't them. So the
Right.
first thing that I suggest is that there's a one-on-one conversation with that person.
Hmm.
Person is influencing other people in the workplace or in the organization, because some people who are like that tend to, they need, a crowd or whatever, so
Hmm.
they're spreading what they think, or what they think, through verbal language. So it's still a one-on-one with that person,
Right.
and to find out what it is that is causing them to not respond to the directives or the challenges, or why the challenges are so overwhelming for them, whatever they, because it could be something personal, it
Hmm.
could be something health wise, and it could just be that they don't have an aptitude for what you're asking them to do. But
Come
that
on.
doesn't mean that they're not good for your organization. They're there for a reason. And sometimes we hang on to things and we just assume, like you said, that they know and they don't. So
Right.
is that a training moment for you? Is that I need to refer them to another resource because I am not a counselor by far? Is that something that you need to do in addition to what you're already doing as a leader for
Right.
that person? And so once you have that conversation and you give them time to change, if they don't adapt, then there's another conversation. But there's always a way to handle a situation if you try to do it one-on-one before you address it in a big group. Now,
Right.
once it starts bleeding over into the group, you have to. But that's your fault as a leader, I think, because you didn't address it one-on-one
Right.
first. So
Right.
those other people, so that person, once you get to that point where maybe you have to let that person go or they're just not equipped, you have in your mind, in your heart, and in your leadership capabilities have done everything you possibly can do to help that person. And
Right.
so therefore, now you can consciously say, okay, well, this is not working out. And, well, maybe I can give you a reference or whatever. But I don't believe in burning bridges. And I don't believe that, yes, we have regrets in our lives, but don't make them on purpose. Like there's
That
things that,
part.
you know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
things that
that
I
part.
regret that I could have done or whatever, but I'm not going out there purposely hurting someone.
Right.
Everything should be with a mindset of this is going to make them better. This is going to help them. And for a leader, me personally, those are uncomfortable situations for me as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing those types of things, but there's things that bring up that grow you as a leader as you're being a leader.
Right.
And that's one of the things that grows me, especially when I have to have a conversation like that.
And so what you're explaining is the sound of a mature leader,
Yes.
because a mature leader can do that, knowing what they're feeling inside, but knowing it's for the good of
Yep.
everyone involved,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we hold on to people and we're holding them back from where they really belong. And we're also holding the organization back. So, can you tell and share with our audience what you do? Because I know that you're dealing with leaders all the time coming to you with needs from a graphic arts or website perspective, or even the music perspective. How do you address them? How do you help them feel comfortable? Because sometimes leaders can come as if I know what I need to know and da da da, right? And so, how do you develop such a strong relationship with your clients that they really believe in you and they start to trust you and they feel okay, comfortable, like releasing those reins? And I don't have to
Yeah.
show up as Mr. Leader or Miss Leader in this space because of where I am.
My method is always suggestive. So I'm a suggestive type of person. So they come to me with an idea, and I say, well, maybe this will work out like this, or maybe let's think about it in a different way. So
Mhm.
especially if I know that it's not going to benefit them or look right graphically or aesthetically, or that it's not something that is popular on the internet, which is not going to get them the likes or the follows or whatever they want, the response that they need from their audience. I try to get them to think in a different way, so giving them more than one option. So when I do a flyer, for instance, I may send it to them in different ways so they can look at it differently according to the information that they shared with me. And I think one of the things that has helped me with that is growing up in church and being like a music director, and you're sitting right under the pastor. I have a reverence for the office of pastor. I respect that.
Mhm.
So I had to learn how to talk to them so that they would receive what I was saying without me trying to make it sound like they didn't know what they needed for their church. You know what
Right.
I mean? And
Right.
so it was a way that you just have to understand their position. I know you're a leader and this is your company. And I
Mhm.
need to know your heart for that company.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times especially with things like their vision and their mission statements and their goals. Those things are precious and people can steal them.
Mm,
So a lot of times things like that, I don't even write them down. I just keep them, like I put them in here so that when I need them, they're there. You know what I
right,
mean? And so
right.
like certain things I don't write down. I never repeat things. Like if you tell me something, it's between you and I. I just always had this natural gift to forget it. Like I don't know
Right.
why God, like He just gave that to me. Until you make me recall it, I'm like, okay, all right. And so I try to be that confidant that they need, that they can
Yeah.
trust. God is always. I don't. My target audience is people who have been hurt in some
Hmm.
kind of way, taken advantage of, or something like that in some kind of industry. Like they've been dogged out, that type of thing. And so God kind of like, that's who just happened to be my target audience. And I'm okay with that
Right.
because I know that they can trust me.
Right.
I believe in your dream just like you do.
Hmm.
People need to feel that. Like
Yeah.
you can tell when somebody is just oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, or when somebody's really intently trying to get your vision, you
Yeah.
can tell. And as a leader, especially when you're dealing with millions of dollars and you're a small business owner, your budget is only but so big. You
Right.
have no money to waste on people trying to get over on you on gimmicks and things like that. There's no money for that.
Right.
And so all of these things play in my mind when they're telling me their vision. And so I try to make sure the budget is right. I'm thinking about what they should look like. I'm thinking about their target audience. I'm thinking about all of those things because that's important to them, which makes
Yeah.
it important to me.
Hmm.
So I can give them the exact product that they need. And it also, for those leaders who are listening, it will cause, that's what causes your recidivism, like reciprocal. Like they're going to keep coming back when they can trust you. When they know they told you something, they never heard it anywhere else.
Yeah.
They're going to keep coming back
Right.
when you give them that perfect flyer and somebody says, oh my, and people are like, oh my God, that's so awesome. That is just you. That is exactly who you are.
Mhm.
They're going to keep, even if they don't come back for 6 months to a year, they will become a client for life.
Right.
For life.
Right.
If they know in their heart that they can trust you with their dreams and their creativity. And for me, that is key.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And thank you for showing up in that space because, you know, so many people are looking for the larger crowd and the large, how big of audience I can get and trying to serve that and that group. And as opposed to focusing on who you're called to and let it grow from there as
Yes,
opposed to just trying to throw out this net and catch as many people as you can and not really getting the right people. Like
right.
you said, you're called to the right people. So
Yeah.
let's talk about in our last few minutes about InteSoul Leadership
Oh, I absolutely
Community
love it. I love
and
it.
and what helped you draw you to that, and why do you think other people, other leaders should come in and to the membership group, which is a monthly investment? Why has that been so critical into what you're doing?
Well, first of all, the name InteSoul Leadership was one of the things that really grabbed me when you presented it to me, and we were talking about it. And I know who you are. I know your passion for leaderships, for building businesses. That was key right there.
Oh,
And
thanks.
then I know that because of who you are, those are the type of people that you're going to attract. So
Mhm.
I can feel there's a space that I can feel comfortable. Now I'm a member of several groups and stuff like that, businesses groups on Facebook and memberships and things like that. And I'm not putting any of the other ones down because I get value out of all of them. Else I wouldn't keep being a member there. I
Right.
wouldn't keep being a member. But the InteSoul is what grabbed me. And then
Mhm.
now we're in there and we're talking, and you have challenges for us and all of those things. I would never, like, I'm doing more things on video because of that video challenge that you made us do. Like, I don't like doing videos and things like that. I'm an email on the phone type of person. I'll do a video if it's music or singing, but I've been doing more promotional videos. I started conversations with Katrice because of that, just things like ideas. The leaders are putting in ideas all the time. We can glean from each other. The captions, Drew, he was like just so instrumental on me getting more information about how to make that a part of my business. I actually have a client that I do their little shorts and stuff for now, and
Nice.
stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's so inspirational when someone asks a question. To me, it's such a great family of leaders that when someone asks a question, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I was wondering how I was thinking the same thing yesterday. So it makes you understand that you're not on this journey alone, and that you have a place to go where you can ask questions, where you can seek out resources. We support each other. I met a lady that has a radio station in there, and now I'm sending her my artist music and our music. She asked me to do some commercials for voter registration and stuff. So it's really a camaraderie that can grow you, not only as a leader, but as who you are. Like, your creativity is coming out. I'm telling you, I would have never done conversations with Katrice without InteSoul Leadership. I wouldn't. I was happy with just interviewing people, this and that or whatever. But then, like, God just keeps downloading these ideas, for the conversations. And so let's just talk about it. Why not? I don't consider myself a speaker, like that. But if we're talking about something that I'm passionate about, let's go for it. And that confidence came from being a part of InteSoul Leadership, because no one's bashing you. No one's saying, oh, you're doing it wrong or whatever. People are just constantly encouraging you with ideas on how you could do it better, or they just like your stuff. Oh man, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks for posting that. I really needed that today. Things like that. And so it's just amazing that way. And
Awesome.
Yeah, I just love it. I love it. The
I love
challenge.
that you love it.
Yeah, the challenges. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be doing no videos like this. This was the challenges.
Yeah, I love that. We need to come up with a new challenge. So I think I have one in mind, and it's really how we're living. Everything that's in that group is coming out of how we're living our lives as leaders. Because it really is a lifestyle. If you're a leader, you just don't put a leader's hat on at one moment of the day and then take it off another moment of the day. You're a leader always, and you do need that space to be able to be a little vulnerable.
Yes.
And yet still be able to stand strong in what you do and how you do it, but be willing to share and not have to feel like, oh, I gotta be on. Because we all feel those ways when we're in front of leading our organizations at times. And we get to test things, right? And get to be able to experience things that we've not really considered before. And it's okay. It really is okay. And so, because what I love about it is we're all really committed to making sure we leave people feeling better than what we found them.
Exactly.
And that comes by us showing up and looking different. And that doesn't mean our facials, but and our skin and all that kind of stuff, but it really is our demeanor and how we show up in that space, how we sound, how we leave people feeling it. And so that's the movement and the momentum that I'm really hoping, and I believe we've already started building, and we're welcoming other leaders to join us in this space. There is a monthly fee of just $47 a month. And you can come in and be a part of this group, this momentum. But also remember, and what I love, and you share more about this as we begin to wrap up, but what I love is the cross-pollination of leaders types. I totally support. I need to be associated with leaders and people who are in my space because I need to be on the cutting edge and all that kind of stuff. But there's a different power that comes when I cross pollinate with leaders in different spaces, because now my perspective is broadened, right? And now I can apply it to my specialty as opposed to just only being in this stream of
Yes.
thought that's my industry. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you 100%. A lot of times we get stuck in where we are. Oh, it's music, 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 or graphics, graphics, graphics. And you know, you do want to be on the cutting edge and you want to be relevant. But at the same time, someone who is in real estate can give me a different perspective about music. Doesn't just because they're in real estate doesn't mean they don't listen to music or that they're not a musician. That's
Right.
just where their focus is. And so they can give me a different perspective on music, or even on a graphic design. They would see it totally different than what I would see it. And one of the things that I always say is to lead the way you want people to follow you. Like,
Yes.
there is no way I can be mean and nasty and this and that or whatever. And, you know, I want people to follow me. Yeah, no, like, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be, you know, caring. I'm going to be the person that is always there trying to have an answer for you, supportive of what you need so that you want to follow me. You know what I mean? And that then opens up doors for me to be free to receive from other leaders. Like, I'm not all like, you know, all the time. I can hear what Yvette is saying when I send her a proposal. I just sent her a proposal for a thing I'm trying to do in North Carolina, like a summer program. What if I was the type, oh no, it has to be this way? Well, she enhanced it so much that I'm really thinking about proposing it to some other churches,
Woo!
other areas. It's such a great, I was reading it yesterday. It's such a great proposal. And it involves music and teaching music, but she added that business piece to it that makes it sound so attractive to anyone who would want to try to be a part of it. And so it just, like she said, it broadens your horizons when you're open to what other leaders in other genres and other disciplines have to say about something that you're doing. And it's not that what you're doing is wrong. Everything can always be better.
Yeah.
Everything can always be better.
I always say we're not going for perfection, we're going for excellence. And
Yes.
excellence says, I'm putting my best foot forward right now. And when I'm done, I'm going to look at it and see, how can I improve it? Where can I improve it? And
Yes.
it might just be, what should I do more of? Right. And not just, but that's, we're looking for excellence, not perfection.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
what would you advise someone, a leader, who might be considering coming into InteSoul Leadership, or knowing that they need some additional support, or didn't even think that they needed some additional support until they heard this conversation? What would you advise them?
First of all, reach out to Yvette. She does have um, a calendar where you could schedule a quick 15-minute consultation. Reach out to her and talk to her. Her heart is open for leaders, businesses, corporate America. It doesn't matter what your level is, small to C-suite. It doesn't matter. Reach out to her. Trust me, she will understand and she will give you sound advice. Secondly, just jump in there. You know, a lot of times we don't have what we need because we're afraid to take that step. Jump in there and go get it. I would not have the things that I have and be doing the things that I'm doing now if I didn't say, okay, God, I'm going to take this leap and I trust you. You know, and so just jump on out there. If you are like feeling like edgy or anything like that, nothing is going to harm you from having a conversation. So then you could make a sound decision. Have that conversation with Yvette. Check out the InteSoul Facebook page. Go to her DestinySpeak. I think you can see some of our stuff. You just can't join. You can't be a part. I think you can see some of the posts or whatever sometimes, or whatever certain posts you can see, which is a benefit for me, you know, because everybody on Facebook is not all about the good. And so it's private so that the people who are in the community are really become a community. You have to be invited to be a part, which is a plus. And thirdly, it's affordable. Like, if you're in business, it's worth the investment. There's people out there running master classes for thousands and thousands of dollars. This you can do to decide whether that's something that you would want to do. If you want to invest in that way in your business with thousands and thousands of dollars, this is a good start because it's really affordable. And if you're serious about your business, your leadership, your ministry, whatever it is that you are leading, this is a great group of people. And you can, we want to hear what you have to say as well. Yeah. So, you'll be able to, communicate and contribute is the word I'm looking for. You'll be able to contribute as well to the group. And so that would add value to not just yourself, but to us. And so the more the merrier, I say. Come on in. It's affordable. If you're not sure, get a conversation scheduled with Yvette and make sure that you are doing the best you can do to be a leader. And $47 a month, some of the stuff I've paid for, I'm just saying $47 a month to be is affordable. So I believe it's affordable. And awesome. So that would be what I would say. Don't be afraid. Just jump on in there.
Jump on in. Jump on in. Come on in. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this interview today. I am so grateful to have you a part of the community. And for those who are listening, I'll put several links. I'll put the link for the things that Katrice's websites for the HP visuals. So if you have need in that, you can see all the things that she covers there. And then I'll also obviously give you the link for if you want a calendar and you want to just jump on a call. And we have the link for you to be able to join if you want to join.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just jump on in there, as you said. Thank you so much, Katrice, for joining us.
You're welcome. Today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll talk to you all later. Thank you. Have a great day and go be amazing leaders. We're counting on you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Good morning. Hello. How are you? In this world today, I am inviting all leaders to join me on the InteSoul Leadership podcast. Have you been wondering where is the support that you need as a leader? You're there for everyone else. You're trying to help your teams navigate through the changes and pivot where it's necessary. Are you struggling with how to keep them motivated? Do you find that you're called to meetings, or you are even yourself finding that you're calling people to meetings and really don't have any real agenda? And so people are feeling it more of a waste of time, all in the name of keeping everyone engaged. Look, you don't have to fly solo. I say it all the time. Leaders need support as well. I understand, after being a veteran leader in many facets, that it can be weighty. It can be weighty. But here's the answer. InteSoul Leadership is providing content with special guests based on my insights and wisdoms and experience, based on the various leaders that I bring into the podcast. Also, you can get the support that you need. You get the thought-provoking ideas, insight that will help you change how you're approaching the situation that you are facing right now, So I encourage you, join and log in, subscribe to the InteSoul Leadership podcast. It's on my YouTube channel. You'll find the link in this post. You will find insightful information there and wonderful guests who are going to share their wisdom. Wisdom is the root of all things. It's the greater of all things. And it's my heart to serve at least 1 million leaders so that we elevate to a place that we're creating healthy cultures everywhere. So I invite you to join me on the InteSoul Leadership podcast every Thursday. Join us there on YouTube. Please subscribe, share, and like.